Interesting article out there right now. The share of American young adults living with their parents is the highest in 75 years. Parents in the U.S. cannot get rid of their kids. The share of young adults in their late 20s living with their parents is the highest in 75 years. According to a recent study, Pew Research, 33%, 1 in 3, 25 to 29-year-olds live with their parents or grandparents. 3 times as many as in 1970. So here, let me help you with this, Mom and Dad. An eagle that doesn't leave the nest is what's known as a turkey. You are not blessing your children by supporting them when they're over 25 years old. Now, could Mom and Dad be a safety net? Yes. But a hammock is ridiculous. There's a difference between a hammock and a safety net. And these statistics indicate hammock. So I will tell you, as the proud father of 3 productive young adults, married to 3 productive young adults, all older than 25, that it does them great good emotionally and spiritually when they leave home. When they have to buy their own food and cook it or go to a restaurant and get some, it's good for them. When they have to pay their own electric bill, it is good for them. When they have to pay their own freaking rent, it is good for them. Now, I'm not talking about someone being homeless or having a health problem or coming out of an abusive divorce and they need to come home and heal for a little while. That's a safety net, and all of that is fine. I would never tell you to not love your children and care for them. I care for my children. If one of my children has a serious problem, I've got a big old house, they can come there for a while. But I do not want to be their serious problem. I want to be the solution to their serious problem, which is a safety net, not a hammock. You are being enablers. And the problem is you have 1/3 of the people in their 20s that are emotionally stunted, is what we're saying. They have not developed into full-grown emotional adults. And let me just tell you, if you're offended by that because you're 26 and you live in your mommy's basement, good, I'm talking to you. My goal here is to piss you off. Be a man. Be a woman. Grow a backbone. Walk out there and be somebody. It's good for you. You will have dignity that you do not have in mommy's basement. Fold your own freaking underwear or don't, but it's your underwear. Your mommy shouldn't be washing it when you're freaking 27 years old. It's absurd, you guys. Now, again, I will distinguish one more time before I start getting all this idiot hate mail from some of you people. You don't like millennials. I love millennials. I've got a whole bunch of 24 to 29-year-olds working here that are absolutely excellent young people. Absolute incredible. Some of the best workforce I've ever seen in my life are the millennials. The good ones. The bad ones, you can't pry the participation trophy out of their little fingers. And they're sitting around waiting on someone to affirm them. Well, you don't get affirmed when you don't do nothing. There's a reason we respect the winner and give them a trophy, is because they did something the loser didn't do. I've won some, I've lost some. You've won some, you've lost some. Get up off your butt and get out of mommy's basement. Come on, dads. Where are you? Now, I'm not suggesting you need to be mean to your children, unkind to your children, nasty with your children, or anything like that. But I'm just telling you, you're a straight-up codependent enabler when you have a 27-year-old living in your basement because he won't go get a job in an economy that's white hot, and there's a labor shortage in most areas right now. You can get construction work if you can walk out the back door in almost any city in America right now. Oh, it's hard work. Yeah, I noticed that. I've done it. And, you know, what working a hard back-breaking work will do? It'll make you read a book so you don't have to do hard-working, back-breaking work the rest of your life. You know? And maybe you can even learn to say it. Which apparently I can't. This is absurd, you guys. 33%. That means if you line up all the 25 to 29-year-olds in a row, 1/3 of them are at home. Some percentage of that is, well, they have just a crippling student loan debt. Wah. They call in here every day having overcome their crippling student loan debt. They stand here in our lobby and do debt-free screams having overcome it. But they didn't overcome it because they were in mommy's basement. They overcame it because they took 6 jobs and worked their tail end off and quit sitting around whining about how entitled they are for the culture to take care of them. And the reason they think the reason they're entitled like that is because they sit in your basement. You are not doing your kids a favor. Now, our kids came out of college. One was married by the time she got out of college, which I never thought would happen, but worked out perfect. One never moved into our house, moved straight into a rental. And one moved into our house for about 3 months until they got the roommates lined up and the other stuff. So after college, I have a total between 3 kids of 3 months of them being with us. Again, if something had happened and there was a health problem or a dramatic economic problem, laziness is not a dramatic economic problem, by the way, a dramatic economic problem, if there's something along those lines, then we would have said, okay, you can stay here until you get your feet under you. But we're not going to sit here and enable you to not, I can't find a job. Well, you haven't left the front of the Nintendo. Of course you can't find a job. You're sitting there looking at the stupid TV. You're watching all those HBO channels I pay for. This has got to stop, you guys. This boomerang generation, they call it. They leave and then they come back. You throw them out and they come back. That's what a boomerang does. And it is damaging the economics of our culture. It is damaging their spiritual walk. They have no dignity. You are not doing them a favor. Well, they're not bothering anything. Yet you're not doing them a favor. They're soft. And again, you don't have to be some kind of tough guy or mean or nasty. I was never unkind to our children as they were leaving. They didn't leave because they had a toxic situation at home. They left because they wanted to have the dignity of being an adult. You cannot do that in mommy's basement. You can't. Now, I talk to people on the air here. They're 32 years old and went through an abusive marriage, and they've come back home, and they've got a little baby, and they're trying to get their feet back under them, a single mom. Hey, do that. Take care of them. Love them well for a period of time. But if they come back home and they're 32, in an abusive marriage and have a little baby, by the time they're 37, they should be gone. Again. Even in that situation, it's a safety net. It's not a hammock. Any turkey that doesn't leave the nest, any eagle that doesn't leave the nest is eventually known as a turkey. Look it up. This is why you teach children how to handle money, so they have some. That's why we wrote the book Smart Money, Smart Kids, how to teach your kids how to handle money, so they leave. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
A lot of people have been worrying about inflation incessantly. It's America's biggest problem right now. Inflation's at about 7%, highest it's been in many, many years, and people are feeling the pinch. This is a real thing. If you've been to the gas pump, you've been to the grocery store, you've been to Chipotle, you're like, why is my chicken bowl now $10? I didn't even get the guac, John. I didn't get the guac.
That would have been another $11.
This is insane. And so I've been digging into just kind of helpful ways. I like to call them hacks. You hate the word hacks because they're not hacks. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of research, know-how, time, effort, energy. So hacks just make me feel like it's easy, even though it's not.
That's a very millennial approach. I accept.
That is where we stand.
I accept.
So I wanted to give the people out there some tips, especially around grocery shopping, because the stats are showing us people are spending, it used to be $2.92 a month, now it's $3.50 a month.
Yeah.
On groceries. And so there's some ways that I've been living this way before it was cool. I was the original hipster when it came to frugality. And so there's a lot of ways people are overspending when it comes to groceries. Eating out is a whole other thing, right, when it comes to that. Meat, really expensive right now. I'm not going to tell people to go eat tofu because we live in a society, John.
Because we don't hate children.
This used to be a real country. I'm not eating that stuff. But here's the thing. One of the biggest ways people overspend is, like we talk about college choice as one of the biggest ways to make college affordable. Grocery store choice. Man, that's a game changer. Some of y'all shopping at Whole Foods or Whole Paycheck, whatever you want to call it. That's a budget buster right now. Maybe we try out Aldi. No, it's not the fanciest store. You got to put the quarter in the cart. It's very old-timey and fun.
You have to put a quarter in the cart?
You have to put a quarter to get the cart, and then you get the quarter back when you put the cart back.
Oh, just in case you're going to rip them
It's an efficiency thing.
off.
No, it's an efficiency thing. They don't have to have a cart person.
Okay.
You are the cart person.
You are the cart person.
They charge you, 10 cents for a bag. They save some money that way.
Yep.
Anyways, you can get some great prices there to get all your necessities. I'm a big fan of Trader Joe's. If you have one in your area, I can fill up a whole little buggy at Trader Joe's and spend less than $100. You can have a shopping spree, and it's a great deal. But another thing people need to do is buy generic. And this is offensive to some people. So they go, don't take away my Oreos.
Absolutely offended right now.
You're like...
you want me to get sugar rounds?
You want me to get the far-out Fruities instead of Fruity Pebbles?
That's exactly right.
But here's the truth, John. Most of those products are made in the same factories on the same lines with the same ingredients.
You can buy look at next to the Cheerios, and you buy just the cellophane bag of Oat-O's, right?
It comes in the bag, you get worried. It has to be in a box.
That's right. It feels a little less secure and stable.
I will say milk in a bag is disconcerting.
Not going to have it.
I just want it in a carton. But that's a big way people can save is going generic. I know there's some deal breakers there. Like toilet paper, I'm going name brand. I'm sorry, I have trust issues.
Deodorant? I'm not hedging on that one.
You're not going with the Dollar General branded?
I am a snob when it comes to deodorant.
You smell great.
I appreciate that.
It's working.
Thank you.
Another thing to do is buy things in bulk that you naturally would eat a lot of, right? So buying a huge bag of rice from Costco, that could be a great deal. That's going to feed your family for a long time. But people assume that buying in bulk means a better deal. And the truth is it doesn't. Here's what I want you to do. It's a quick, fun little math experiment. You take your phone out when you're at the grocery store, divide the price by the ounces.
Well, now you're asking people to do work, George, and I just want to go to the grocery store.
They're not really hacks, are they, John?
Sounds like you're making me do math.
Yes, but that math is going to make your life better because you're not going to feel inflation as much.
I have a 6th grade son, and he's working through math, and he asked the other day, when am I ever going to use this? And now you're telling him in the grocery store?
Yep, I'm telling Hank, buddy, there's hope for you.
There is
you
hope
will
for
use this.
I think that's disconcerting.
Not the Pythagorean theorem, but just basic math. So do the math on those ounces. Don't assume it's a good deal because it's at the wholesale club and you're buying it in bulk. That's a big one. And there's this new thing called shrinkflation that is driving me crazy personally. So if your breakfast bars used to be 1.5 ounces.
Oh, yes! Is that what it's called?
Yes. Now they're charging the same price, but they shrunk it down to 1 ounce instead of 1.5 ounces.
I opened a bag of something recently, and I thought it was all air. I had to look in and say, what happened to it?
You thought you grew.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm the big friendly giant, like the BFG. What has happened? So it's called shrinkflation?
Shrinkflation. It's a real thing. Yeah, and companies are doing this to save money without changing their price. Because if you go, well, my breakfast bars were, I like Lara bars. We like those. We eat those. And you go, it used to be $5. Well, now Lara bars shrunk the ounces and charge the same $5 so that you never notice. You're none the wiser, John.
You're just a little more hungry.
This is how they get you.
They got me.
So there's a lot of ways. Obviously, meal planning, but let me tell you, meal planning's a lot for a lot of people. It just feels too aggressive. So I like to say start with foods that you enjoy, that you're willing to eat, because if you're not willing to eat it, you know what happens? It goes in the trash. And that's how inflation really gets you. You don't even eat the stuff you bought because you thought you were going to be in the mood for kale salad. Classic scenario.
Nobody's in the mood for kale
salad. And then you
salad.
go, we're getting pizza tonight.
That's right. Well, I think it's important to also say, and I know this, people are going to roll their eyes and say, oh my gosh, you're giving leftovers are a thing, and don't be above leftovers.
I'm a big fan of leftovers.
I am too. They're huge in our house, but I know that can be offensive to say that.
And if you hate leftovers, become a better cook, and then you'll like leftovers. It's amazing how that works.
Shots fired.
Yep. Coming at you, America.
And there's a whole bunch of folks out here from Chick-fil-A. You guys have done a great job keeping the prices down, so way to go, guys.
Big fan of Chick-fil-A. I've got my own Chick-fil-A hacks that I'll share at another time, but I like to go budget-friendly. My wife does not. Her meal somehow is like $48 at Chick-fil-A. Mine's like $4. I'm getting the kids' meal.
Oh, I did go with you one time.
I'm swapping the toy for the ice cream, right? They understand.
Yeah. No, I was with you that one time.
Yeah. John saw me order a kid's meal, and I was in the car with him, and they thought I was his child.
Yeah, exactly. They thought, man, don't see a lot of middle schoolers with a full beard, but we'll go with it.
Here's what it comes down to. Do a little bit of math to figure out what is this meal actually costing me. Is it costing me $20 per person? Because that's not a good way to fight inflation.
Right.
But if I can get it down to, $3, $4, $5, that's a great deal.
And let's just call it out. Like we laugh, joke, we joke, and we have a good time. I know that there are people who are really hurting with the food prices.
Oh, absolutely.
They're hard, man.
Yeah.
And things were already compressed and tough and tight, and millions of people looking for jobs, trying to move jobs. This is a messy time, man. And so I just want to acknowledge it. Sometimes there's moments, when you're working people's mental health and you're working people's money, like I don't have an instant solution for you other than to say, I'm sitting here with you and I'm sorry.
And that's my solution is let's get creative and let's make it kind of fun.
Yeah,
and at least then it takes a little bit of that sting away, and you feel like, man, this kind of what other areas can we do this in? Another one is gas. That's another thing people are worried about. And I use an app called Gas Buddy. They're not a sponsor, but if you're listening, awesome app that shows me the cheapest gas in my area, and usually it's the wholesale clubs.
I didn't know that.
Sam's or Costco.
Yeah.
And so those are great ways to just do a little bit of math. But don't go to the gas station 48 miles away to save 2 cents a gallon.
That's right.
Also do the math on that and go, that's not worth it. I'm saving 20 cents to go an extra 20 miles.
Yeah.
Don't do that either.
Very cool.
Or stop driving. That's a good way to do it too.
Carpool.
I'm a big fan of that. A lot of people that work here at Ramsey in my neighborhood, and sometimes I'll just hitch a ride.
That to me is where I like that. I like to see communities come together and say, we got some local challenges. What are some local solutions to some of these challenges? We're going to have people over once a month. Back in when I had a group of friends, we had an event called Rotisserie where we just rotated. That's the cheesiest name ever, I know. But we would just have once a week, everybody would take their leftovers out and bring them over. And there'd be half a bottle of wine and
potluck.
it was an old school potluck. And we just rotated houses. The rules were no one cleans up. We're not. Like, if there's laundry on the floor, there's laundry on the floor. We want to hang out, and we're going to clean our fridges out. And these are folks that were way better off financially than me. It wasn't about necessity at that point. It was just about community.
Yeah.
And it turned into something that was great financially for us all, too, right?
Yeah. And this will all blow over. So we're not saying this is your new life and then you have to shop at this new store and you have to get gas over. This is just to help you guys out during this time so that you have a little bit more margin in your budget. And that's why we teach the baby steps, by the way. Because if you're in debt, inflation is hitting you a lot harder than when you've got 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in a savings account. Yeah. You've got no one. You don't owe anyone anything. Whew, you can sleep at night not worrying about the extra 20 cents at the pump.
And this is going to blow over. Inflation will regulate back down. They'll do something else. But don't let intentionality go by the wayside.
Yeah.
I love the idea, even if it's for a few cents here, a quarter here, a couple dollars here.
It adds up.
Be intentional. Let this be the moment you say, I'm going to start being intentional with how I spend my money, whether it's on a bag of rice or for a car or for a home or anything in between.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
We're looking for advice on what we can do for financing for flipping houses. We currently use our home equity line of credit for the purchasing and remodeling, but of course that payment gets a little high. So we're just looking for some ideas of what to do.
Okay. I've probably done 1,500 or 2,000 flips in my life.
Okay.
That's what I used to do for a living before I went broke because I borrowed money doing flips. So for 35 years, I've taught people not to borrow money as a primary way to lower risk and create wealth. I don't borrow money. And so I'm not going to be able to help you borrow money.
Okay. What do you, do you just straight out advise just cash for flipping a house?
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a lot of reasons why. Okay. When you use financing to purchase a house that you're going to flip, you're not as careful as when you use money out of your bank account to purchase a house to flip. When you are using financing to do the renovation on the flip, you're not as careful as when you're pulling your stinking hard-earned money out of your checking account to do the renovation, and you end up spending more on the purchase, more on the renovation, thus your margins are lower. Oh, and then when you get ready to sell it and interest rates tick up from 3 to 7 and the market slows down dramatically and you're sitting on this thing with payments, you become what's called a motivated seller and you give up the rest of your margin. So your margins are destroyed when you do flips for those 3 reasons with financing. So I would go a lot slower, buy a lot smaller, buy something seriously junky and tiny and flip it with cash out of your pocket. Use every bit of the profits from that to upgrade your flip to the next one, upgrade your flip to the next one, and organically grow your cash base with profits to increase the quality of the flip that you're doing. Because what you are doing causes more people to go broke than it prospers more people, including me.
Okay.
So I'm really scared for you. Because the thing that has to go through your mind when you're doing these deals is that this is all going to work, and it never, in real estate, I've done thousands of transactions, it never works exactly the way you thought it was going to.
Yep, that's exactly right. And, Tara, my husband, just even this last year, he's kind of started in this game.
He's done 3 flips.
Yeah, and we've cash flowed it, and you're right.
And he's good at real estate.
And he does it. So I can't take any credit. But yeah, there's it's a state sale. There's dead rats in the house. I mean, they're not pretty properties. But then when you go and what you're saying, you make the selections, and it's us making the selections out of our own account. You are like, okay, what can we do here to save money here? I mean, you were thinking through everything. We brought the kids out to do the yard work last weekend over Easter to help move some stuff before they went through and tore out the bushes. And, you just think about it different. And it's a slower process. It's not as fun and flashy, but there's so much less risk. And if something were to happen, you're okay. You're okay because you don't owe a bank something, it goes back to the options like we talked about in the last hour.
I mean, let's pretend there was a Fauci pandemic or something like that. And the market just froze like a deer in the headlights, and nobody's leaving their home, and they're cuddled up in the corner with their mask.
Well, and what happened with you was that you had so many of those going, and you were good at it.
Yeah.
And because of that, you kept building on it and making a bigger risk. Yeah. And then when
I had $1.7 million in finance flips at 24 years old. I owed the bank $1.7 million on flips.
Remind everybody, because that was
1984.
Decades ago. Because $1.7 million now for some people.
Yeah, okay,
it's
it would be $8 million now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had the equivalent of $8 million financed in today's dollars under flips at 24 years old in 1984. It was $1.7 million. $1.1 million with one bank, and this is how I learned not to borrow money. Yeah, and I had 30% equity positions in almost every one of them. I was not late on a single note. So what happened, Dave? What happened to your little house of cards? The bank got sold. A small town bank, doing business with me. They knew I knew what I was doing. My family had been in the real estate business. I've got a family history of knowing what we're doing. All of a sudden, some bozo in Atlanta instead of Nashville is making a decision, and he looked down and said, a 24-year-old owes us $1.3 million. Have we lost our minds as a bank? Answer, yes, and they called our notes, which they have the right to do with commercial paper. It has a call provision in it if they don't like the quality of collateral. And they suddenly just declared that they didn't like the quality of their collateral anymore. And now I've got to come up with $1.3 million, and I'm 24 years old, and it's all tied up in real estate, and I probably got $30,000 in cash because I was a freaking genius and had it all figured out. Now, there's your TikTok deal right there. You TikTok morons wanting to flip houses. So there you go. And so that's exactly what's happening. Now, and I spent the next 3 years of my life losing everything I own. And so the year Rachel was born, we ended up filing bankruptcy at the bottom of it. Lost every stinking thing. One year I made $250,000. That's $20,000 a month in $1984. The next year my taxable income was $6,000. I spent the whole year selling stuff to avoid foreclosure or being foreclosed on the way down into bankruptcy. So, yeah, trauma. Mm-hmm. I'm a trauma survivor. So that's it. And so Dave, don't borrow money. When the borrower is slave to the lenders in the Bible, I think God's smart. I think God knows something I don't know. And I don't borrow money anymore. So all that to say, Tara, call
the wrong guy.
No, but no, you know,
well, the right guy.
If whoever told you to call over here, I think they set you up. But yeah, I want you to go do flips. I mean, my son-in-law does them. My daughter's husband sitting right here, and I taught him how. I taught him a lot.
How to go get foreclosures.
Not everything. I taught him how to buy foreclosures and buy real estate.
Yeah.
He worked running our Ramsey portfolio for a lot of years and still runs it. But he's using the formulas right now that we talked about back in those days, and he's paying cash. So I'm not against flips, but do it with cash, and you make way better decisions all the way across the board, and you don't turn yourself into a motivated seller. And you won't hear any of that on TikTok, I can tell you. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
All right, John, we got to talk about something because it's on everyone's hearts and minds, and that is cars. Everyone's losing their minds. The car market has lost its mind. Up in here. And we are both are in the market for a car, and it's a very stressful time when you're trying to do it, especially with cash.
Okay, so you are currently purchasing one. I did recently, a few months ago. It was the strangest interaction I've ever had when it comes to transaction. It got to where I wrote a check, and I was looking at the salesman, and because it was like, hey, well, we need to like talk to you about this, and if you finance it here, and I said, look, dude, I got a check, and I felt like I was talking to my son. I said, I want to give you this, and I want you to give me that.
You
it's
have a thingy.
Right
I have
there.
money.
You have the key. I can see it. Just give me that, and I'll give you this. Like, well, we gotta go through these meetings, and I said, I'm not gonna buy any of your special clear coats. I don't want any extended warranty. I just want that. Could you just take this? Can I just give you this? Can I just give you this, man? It was such an event that I ended up leaving, and then we called back, and I said, hey, how about this? Just bring it by. We literally like a mile and a half down there. Just drop it off here. I'll give you this giant check for it. Dude, it was easier to buy my house than it was to buy a car with cash.
Wow.
And you're in the middle of it now. Has it gotten worse?
Yeah, I just tried yesterday. And here's the thing.
Okay, so fill me in on this.
Literally, I'm going to pitch this article to you to prove what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
Wall Street Journal, here's the headline. Car dealerships don't want your cash.
Oh, there you go.
They want to give you a loan.
There you go.
Buyers say dealerships are pushing them to borrow because they make more money that way. The hot car market is giving them the opportunity.
So every time in history, it's if you'll pay with cash, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah.
We'll get the deal done faster. And now they're upcharging you, right?
Yes, and the numbers show this, John. If you finance a car, the dealership makes $3,000-$4,000. If you just pay cash, they're going to make hundreds of dollars, maybe $1,000. So they're making way less if you pay cash. They're making money off the financing deals. If they can get you to finance, they get kickbacks from the lenders. They have their own financing. They're making money from that. And so it's actually increasingly difficult to buy a car with cash. Now, this is not your excuse, America, to go, well, I'm going to go get a car loan because it's too hard to pay with cash. I'm not going to get a discount. You still have to pay with cash. You will not go into debt for a car. But here's my experience, John. I said, hey, I'm not going to finance. I was just straight up with them, which, problem number one, honesty. Shouldn't have done that. And they go, okay, well, it's going to cost you $1,000 more if you're going to pay in full. And I went, okay, well, I guess you're not getting my business then. And so I just said, hey,
let's be clear. The check you're about to write's a decent-sized check.
Yeah.
It's a good check.
Yeah, and so I said, here's what I'm willing to pay. Mm-hmm. You call me back if you can do that. Otherwise, it's the end of the conversation. And that's what happened. And I just got a text while we're doing the show that was like, hey, let's talk ASAP. I've got some updates for you. And so this is the digital version of the walk away.
God, I don't even know what that is.
So here's what this comes down to. You just walk out of the dealership.
Oh, yeah.
And they chase you out and go, no, John, come back in. And so here's what I want you to know. The person with the most patience, the most information, and the most options always wins. In any spending decision. When you're not desperate, you can make a better decision. Yeah. When you have options, you can make a better decision.
When you're willing to walk out the door.
Yes. So here's what I want to tell you guys. Do your research. There's so many avenues online to research the exact car you want. You will know more than the dealership does about that car by the time you walk in there. Number two, I want you to make sure that you know the exact value of your trade-in. And here's the thing. If you've got a trade-in, appraise it before you get the out-the-door price. Because otherwise, they start finagling it on the back end.
They wind it down
to charge you more.
Yeah.
When you say, no, you said my car's worth $4,000, that's what we're going to do here. And the out-the-door price includes all of the taxes and fees, the dock fees, all that stuff. That is the number we need to aim at. Now, you don't have to say, hey, I'm not going to finance today. You can save that to the end if you really want to, stick the knife in and go slap the check on the table.
See, I'm like you. I'm like, hey, it's a cash deal. I'm going to walk out today with this car. I've already driven
Skip
it. I
the
want that
games.
one. Can we just not play a game?
Yeah,
that's
they
it.
do the Foursquare, and they go, we can get your payments down to whatever you want.
Yeah, not really that kind of guy.
No.
It's cool.
So here's what I want you to do. Go in with a cashier's check, maybe a little bit below the asking price. Like, here's what I would love to pay for this car. And when they see that check in hand, they're still going to go, well, we could make $26,000 right now, or we can hope that someone finances it in the next month, or we get a car off our lot and get a trade-in. Now, if they go above that cashier's check and you still feel like it's a good deal, that's okay. You can supplement that with your own check, with cash, whatever that looks like. So you don't need the exact number on the table there.
And I do think it's important to call out here. So there's a whole bunch of car dealerships trying to do right by people.
Some good guys
There's
out there.
a great guy, Larry, in Paducah. That's a lot of our people here at Ramsey do business with. Great human being that's trying to help people out, trying to put them in cars. And so this isn't all car dealerships are bad. And I hadn't bought a car in a long time. And it used to be they put something in the paper. I don't know if you remember what those days were like, or they put something online and then you go haggle. I do understand now, like after talking with the guys and getting some more information, that buying a car is different now. The idea you're going to go in and get $8,000 off, those days are not here.
Yes.
Right? So as a buyer, don't be a jerk. Don't be a moron. Don't squeeze the.
Be kind.
Be a good human being.
Yeah.
Say this is what I can afford to pay. I want that car. Let's make it. Let's shake hands. And then if you can't, walk out the door.
Yes. But
Walk out the
agreeing
door.
on that out the door price is the key.
Yeah.
Because if you agree on that, then it doesn't matter what they say about financing. No, we agreed. This is the price of the car. And please, please look at the contract. And if there's anything beyond a small dock fee and your sales tax for the state, county you live in, run. If they're trying to tack on all these extra things and warranties they force, walk out of there.
Walk
Go,
out the
I'm not
door.
paying anything but a small dock fee. And if you can get rid of that, that's even better. And then the taxes, which, yes, we have to pay our taxes on sales tax on these cars.
Yeah.
So do that. Walk in with a cashier's check. Don't walk in with a barrel full of cash, of actual physical dollars. That is a terrible move. It's dangerous. They've got to report it to the IRS. They don't want to deal with that hassle. So, yes, we say pay cash. We don't actually mean take a briefcase like it's an old school movie.
It's kind of baller though.
It is. I've known people who've done it, and they get laughed out of there. They go get a cashier's check. We're not playing that game. So, be patient. Do your research. Know your options. Don't go on a Saturday when it's packed out. Go at the end of the month on a weeknight when it's not raining, so that you can actually do the inspection and not be in a rush. And that's going to help you make the best financial decision. And be willing to sacrifice. I know you wanted this exact specification. It's okay if you've got another option and you're desperate. Then you got to deal with that. Yeah. But here's the other thing. Don't buy a car right now unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, don't buy a car. Ta-da, get it fixed. Clean it.
That's right. James gets it. Now, Ken and I took a call about a Snosberry Jeep, and the wife really wanted this exact Jeep color. It was the only one to get. And we had to talk her off the ledge. And I was like, Snosberry is not even a color. Let's not pretend that you need this exact Jeep at this exact time.
That's like a Willy Wonka candy bar, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. It's from Willy Wonka.
A Snosberry Jeep.
Very stressful stuff.
I'm in.
James, did we hit everything in this article?
I was going to say, what about private sale?
Private sale. Let's talk about private sale, John. This is very important as well.
Okay.
That is when you can actually negotiate, is with a private sale. You can get more money if you're selling that way, and you can actually negotiate. Because if I'm just going to John, he's got no incentives from the financing lenders to make money.
He needs money.
He just wants the money.
He wants to sell his car.
So I would be on Facebook Marketplace looking for these. There's some third-party sites like Auto Trader where people are just listing their cars for sale. So that's where I would start my research and see if I can work it out. And always, always get an inspection on the car from a mechanic. This will cost you about $100, but no matter who's selling it, go get an inspection from a reputable mechanic before you go slap 10 grand down because it's a deal, and then you find out there are some major issues that you didn't know about until you're going over 60 on the interstate and it starts rattling, right?
The transmission falls out.
Yes. So you've got to do the inspection, negotiate with cash in hand, be a kind person, commit, say, hey, I've got cash today. If you can do this deal, I'll show up. And so that's how to navigate this market, John. It's not fun. I totally feel empathy for people that really need a car. And you can find a car, by the way, that's under $15,000, under $10,000. We get a lot of flack for that. People go, you can't find a car. You can't. Beater cars, they don't exist. Go to Auto Trader, wherever, and do sort by lowest price.
They exist.
There's some great cars for $4,000, or $5,000, $3,000. Suck it up.
No one's going to stop you in a parking lot and be like, whoo,
Yeah.
I want some of this. No, it's not that kind
I've
of car.
never been stopped.
But it'll get you where you need to go.
That's right. We're doing a series here. We just did one on food recently, and we're moving into utilities today to give you some quick tips. Again, none of these are life-changing. You're going to roll your eyes and say, okay, George, shut the lights off. Big whoop. That's going to save me big money. But I wanted to walk through some of this because it really is interesting. So inflation is the highest rate it's been in 40 years, about 8%. And since February 2021, energy prices have gone up by 25.6%. So we've got a few quick tips here on how to save when it comes to utilities. Number one, don't run appliances unless they're full.
Oh, not only is that great advice for money, it irritates the stew out of me when kids are doing that.
There's three things in the laundry, two things in the dishwasher.
Yeah, let's pack it out, man.
So, and what's interesting, Ken, pre-rinsing, waste of time, waste of water. The dishwashers today are made to get the gunk off.
All right, now I got to tell you something.
Tell that to Stacy.
You're stepping on my toes. I'm going to take that home with me. I'm not even kidding right now.
This was not a dig at Stacy.
I am a pre-rinse. In fact, I'm the guy that not only do I pre-rinse, I give it a little bit of a scrub before I put it in there. Why am I doing this now?
You own a dishwasher, Ken.
You're telling me that I can put it in there with the caked pasta that was overcooked in the microwave? I have teenagers.
Do you live on Little House on the Prairie? What's going on here, man? Use the dishwasher. It's there for you.
No, you didn't answer my question. Will it? Kelly knows. I mean, come on.
Don't look at
teenagers.
Kelly. She's not going to save you.
They overcook stuff in the microwave, so like the pasta and the cheese is like embedded into the plate. You're telling me that the modern dishwasher will get that off?
Listen, Ken, I'm
not here to be
I'm not here to be the ShamWow pitchman to tell you how your dishwasher is going to change your life.
Until I know, folks, I'm going to continue with the rinse and light scrub before I put it in the dishwasher.
Sounds like a parenting problem.
Sounds like a control issue, I'm sure.
All right, moving on. Number 2, program your thermostat. I'm one of those millennials. I've got the smart thermostat. This is big. So if you're not going to be home all day, the heat doesn't have to be pumping through the house. You can save as much as 10% a year if you drop that thermostat down. And I know my wife is one of those who's just constantly cold. So we've got to have the heat blasting. But if you put on a few layers, you'll be okay.
What do you have it on in the winter, George?
I'm a 70.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
In the winter.
We are 66 degrees at night in the winter. 66. Chilly. I get up in the morning and my feet hit the tile in the bathroom. It's like, oh, welcome world.
I'm willing to pay a premium. Up fast. I'm willing to pay that premium too.
Not me. You sleep better when it's colder, by the way. Look it up. Sleep studies show.
Sure, at night. I drop it down to 67.
I said at night.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant during the day.
You said 70.
We're on the same page. Why are we fighting, Ken? We don't need to be doing this in front of the kids, in front of America. All right. So that's a big one, though. And smart thermostats can help with this. I've got one of those at home.
Yep.
Super easy. Can control it from my phone.
And by the way, don't let the kids operate it. Keep them away from it.
Get a lockbox on it.
When I was growing up, my dad used to threaten a beating. You can't say that anymore, but like a real beating if I ever touched the thermostat. It was a no-go.
You were not allowed.
No touch.
That's smart. We need to get back to those days.
We do.
All right, lastly, this is a no-brainer. Use less. So if energy costs are busting your budget, one of the best things you can try to do is use less of it. And that means being intentional. Even those little things, it all adds up. Turn off the lights. Turn off the water while you brush your teeth. All of that stuff matters. Get LED light bulbs. There's all these little things.
You skipped over the light thing, and that should have been a major point, George.
Thank you.
Credit to you.
Thank you.
First of all, LED lights, game changer. You wouldn't believe the energy savings. They last longer on top of that. And here's the other thing. Turn the daggum lights off. Can't wait till all my teenagers are married and in their own homes. I'm going to go to their house, walk in every room, turn every light on.
We're just like the old curmudgeon guys on like Sesame Street in the balcony, just telling the kids to turn the lights off and get off our lawns.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to take great pleasure in turning every light on, leaving the refrigerator door open.
To that end, check your insulation. Make sure there's no drafts coming in. Make sure things are insulated well.
Yeah.
That's going to be big.
Energy windows.
Change your filters. That's a big one. You want to make sure all your appliances are running efficiently. So do a little audit this weekend and see what happens next month. See if you don't save a few bucks.
Yeah. A lot of people just tuned in for the first time ever, and they think they're listening to a home improvement show.
Listen, I'm Tim the Toolman Taylor.
yeah,
That's
you
me.
wish.
So you can check out the blog at RamseySolutions.com. It's called How to Combat Inflation and Protect Your Four Walls. We're going to be going through some other areas like housing and transportation coming up on the show, so stay tuned for that. So I've covered some quick tips on the first 3, food, utilities, and housing, and I wanted to just quickly talk about transportation, give you guys some hope, some encouragement, some tips to save in those areas as inflation keeps getting crazier and crazier. So let's talk about this. As you know, the average price of a gallon of gas has skyrocketed here in Tennessee. It's well over $4, probably higher where you are. And so let's talk about gas real quick. gas rewards and cashback programs can be some good options for you right now. We've got a grocery store called Kroger here, and they've got some rewards programs. If you're already buying your groceries or you're not even buying anything, I get 3 cents off every gallon. Not going to change your life, but hey, every little bit helps. And there's some great cashback apps out there like Get Upside and Gas Buddy that can show you deals around your area and give you cash back for the gas that you're already getting. And speaking of Gas Buddy, that's one of my favorite apps to track the cheapest gas prices. The cheapest gas is not always at my local wholesale club like Costco or Sam's Club. Sometimes it's at the local Shell down the street. And so you can use Gas Buddy or Waze to find the cheapest gas prices in your area. Some great apps to have there on your phone. Some other ways that you may not have thought about, make less trips. That's right. Make one trip instead of 7 if you've got some errands to run. Just plan better, people. That's all I'm asking you to do. And carpool. America's favorite pastime, carpooling. That's right. Great way to have some human connection while saving some money, whether it's to the office, to school with the kids soccer game, whatever you got going on. Figure out a way to have less cars on the road, less gas being purchased. Now, when it comes to transportation, we got to talk about car prices. The car market is still pretty wild out there. I'm hoping for good things to be happening sometime soon, but let's talk about some ways to save on cars. Number one, the best way to save, just don't buy a car right now. I don't know why, but it's like when the car market goes crazy, we all want to go out and get a car. So let's just slow down and go, do we actually need a car? If the answer is no, I wouldn't be buying a car right now. That's it. So if your car is working, it gets you from A to B, let's just take a chill pill. Number two, shop around for auto insurance rates. This one is huge. You just have had your auto insurance for years and years and years. You haven't shopped around, and that can free up, $30, $40, $50 in your budget every month when you realize you're not getting that great of a deal. So check out our friends at Xander Insurance. You can go to RamseySolutions.com. We can help you shop around all of the best auto insurance companies to get you the best deal on those premiums. And carpool with coworkers. We mentioned this, but this is another way that you can get around some of the craziness is carpooling. Here at Ramsey Solutions, we have over 1,000 team members. James lives nearby Kelly. Maybe a carpool to save some money on gas for a little while. And, of course, sharing a car. If you've got a second car, maybe you and your spouse share one for a little while. That can be a huge help. And lastly, if you do have to get a car, budget for it. Pay cash. Don't get ripped off at the dealership. And I know out there they're going to say, hey, finance. You'll save $1,000 by financing with us. You say, no, thank you, sir. And you check that contract out for the sale, and you look and see all of the different fees they tacked on there, and you say, nope, not paying that, not paying that. I'm walking away. That's what you do. I don't want you to pay anything more than sales tax and maybe a small dock fee. Anything outside of that, their premium care, their warranties, avoid that like the plague. They are ripping you off. So find a reputable dealership. Maybe go private sale and negotiate on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Do what you got to do, but do not get ripped off during these crazy times. So there you go. That wraps our series on how to combat inflation, protect your four walls. Hope that was helpful. A lot of empathy for you all out there dealing with this, trying to find the margin in your budget, which is what it comes down to. How do we spend less? How do we make more? How do we have that margin so that we don't feel the pinch of inflation?
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
In the spirit of what I think is just a consistent thread that we see throughout, and even that I face throughout times in my life, is 5 reasons to get any job.
To go.
Just to get any job, all right? So, number 1, some money is better than no money.
That's right.
Right? Some money coming in is better than no money. When COVID hit, we were in the cruise industry, and ain't nobody going on cruises, and the live entertainment industry, and wasn't nobody going to a live event. So I had to get a job, and my husband had to get a job. I had to get a job that I did not like, that, to be honest, I was fully overqualified for, but we didn't want to just burn savings. So it's like, bring in some money. Like we're debt free. We have hardly any expenses. Any money that we bring in is going to be great. So we did that, and it didn't feel good. And let me just say, I don't necessarily believe that work is beneath people, but in some days it felt like it was beneath me. Like, let's just be honest about that. Somebody needs to say it. You know, some of you feel like, listen, I shouldn't be working at McDonald's. Okay, I get that you feel that way, but you don't have any money. So go work at McDonald's. All right. And listen, just be happy that McDonald's is open, because back in the day, in COVID, it wasn't even open. So anyway, some money is better than no money. Rachel, the next one I have here is your spouse needs to see who you are. And if you're a husband or a wife and you're facing a very hard time in your marriage, go get a job. Because when they see you at home and you're not working and they feel like they're taking on the burden of that, you can help take some of that off. So go get a job. And then that might encourage your spouse to go get a job. Like, that is good. Your spouse will feel like, I remember when I was a kid, my dad, he just was always working. And I was like, one thing about my dad is like, this man is going to work. Like, and it builds a sense of security in your kids and in your family.
Yeah.
Go get a job. And no one's going to be going, well, but my dad only works here. No one is saying that. They're going, listen, my dad goes out and works hard every day.
That's right.
Go get a job. All right. Number 3, you'll learn what you like and what you don't like.
Yes, by testing out all different things.
Yeah. Listen, I don't like food service. I don't like call center. I don't really like working with animals, even though I like animals. Yeah, I like cooking. I don't like making wedding cakes. I've done it before. It's a lot of work. Like, I can tell you, Rachel Cruz, the things that Jade does not like doing. Okay. And I know the situations that I do enjoy working in. So you'll learn what you like. You'll learn what you don't like. Number 4, you'll be productive.
Yes.
And there's just something to be said for, all right, I'm getting up
and leaving and doing something. Yeah. Or not leaving, but staying at home and being on your computer, doing something. Yes.
Something. You're getting out of your bed, even if you're putting on sweatpants and going up and putting your little headpiece on and doing your call center job. I'm almost talking about it like I know it. Okay. And then finally, it will build confidence in you, because when you go, the longer you go without a job, the more you wonder if you'll ever be able to get a job. So to just go from one job to another says, listen, I've got some confidence. Like, I can say when I go to my next interview, I can say that I'm currently working, or I can say,
here's the experience that I've had. Yeah.
Or at least feel it on the inside.
That's right. That's right.
So there you have it. 5 reasons to take any job before you get the job.
And that was free, ladies and gentlemen.
Free game.
Right from Jade Warshaw. That's amazing, Jade. I mean, seriously, because I do think that there is this feeling, and especially if you've been in a certain industry, or you kind of have your line of sight of like, this is what I do, and you get laid off, or you're in a bad situation, you quit, whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
And you still have that kind of narrow focus of this. And to your point, when bills have to be paid, open those horizons and go. Just do something. Yes.
Yeah. And, one door leads to another. And you never know. You might be taking someone's burger order, and you meet the person taking the order. They have a situation that they tell you about, and it leads to the next thing. You never, ever know what's behind a door. So don't count it out and think that you're above it, or think that just keep going.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Rachel, I don't know if you know this, but there is a retirement crisis happening in America.
Is there?
Here's the stat that shocked me. Nearly half of Americans aren't saving at all for retirement, and those who do aren't saving enough. So for those of you, maybe you're in your 40s or 50s, retirement isn't a far-off dream at this point. It's a fast-approaching reality, and we get tons of questions from people asking, do I have enough money to retire? How is this actually going to work? And people that listen to the show, they want to retire with dignity. It's a goal, but sadly, many people, they're not that serious about saving for retirement. They haven't made it a priority. So let's get a benchmark of what the average person in their 40s and 50s has saved for retirement.
You ready? According to a recent survey or a study done by Ramsey Solutions, the average American in their 40s has an average balance of $93,400 saved for retirement and contributes 8% of their income towards retirement.
Wow.
The average American in their 50s has an average balance of $160,000 and contributes 10% of their income into retirement. So with those averages, though, it's not enough.
No. So here's the deal. If you're doing these 5 things in your 40s and 50s, you are not serious about saving for retirement. So we're going to call this 5 signs you're not taking retirement seriously. Number 1, you have no goals.
Oh, man.
I know. It hurts to hear, but we've realized, Rachel, retirement is not an age. You don't just get to retire at 60.
Right.
because the government said so. It's a financial number, and you need to know that number. And you can use our free retirement calculator to do that on our at RamseySolutions.com and set a goal for retirement savings. Now, obviously, we have no magic 8 ball to go, well, you're going to have $4.8 million if you just do this. We don't know what the market's going to do. But we do know if you consistently invest over time, we know what the average track record has been of the stock market with mutual funds, that you'll have a good nest egg.
That's right. Next,
what's the next sign?
When you know that you're not serious about retirement is that you're not saving 15% of your income.
We just saw that in the stats.
Yeah, the average salary for Americans in their 40s is around $59,000. And if you started investing 15% at age 40 and did that every year until you retired, you would be a millionaire by 65.
Wow, from 40 to 65, it's still possible.
Yep.
Making $59,000, and if you never get a raise.
And 15% of your income. So this is why we always say in the baby steps to pay off your debt first, get your emergency funds, and then you actually have money to do 15%. Because I think for a lot of these,
they're just doing too many things at once. They're trying to pay off debt.
Yeah, they don't have the cash to be able to do it all.
15%
That's right.
away.
That's right.
That's a huge problem. All right, next sign you're not taking retirement seriously, you still have consumer debt. You're still hanging on to that student loan, the credit card balance that you were working to pay off. Well, we did the HELOC too for that pool because we needed the pool for the kids. And here's the thing, debt is actually just borrowing from your future, which is not a good plan if you want to retire in the future. So use the debt snowball method. It's the one you hear about on this show, smallest to largest balance, regardless of interest rate, and focus on paying off all consumer debt other than your mortgage. And what that does is free up debt payments that you can now use
there you go.
to invest that $700 truck payment.
It's a beautiful thing.
Amazing.
It is a beautiful thing. Next, one of these, this is why you're not serious about retirement, is that you overspend on non-essential costs of living. Cost of living is the top reason people don't save for retirement. The average American spends $1,500 on non-essential items every month. It's almost $18,000 a year on things like eating out, impulse purchases, and subscriptions. So cut your cost of living.
That's true. And we had a call earlier, Rachel. A guy had spent, what was it, $68,000 on credit cards, largely from door dashing.
Yes.
From using DoorDash to get food out of convenience.
Yes.
So these non-essential costs, the subscriptions, the door dashing, the Uber Eats, whatever it is, pick your poison.
Right.
It adds up every single month and compounds. So you got to cut things out.
That's right. And that's hard to do, right? We talk to so many people here on the show that they cut their cost of living way down to get margin to pay off debt, and they do the sacrifice. They do it all. So it is possible. It's not always fun, but then on the flip side, you really realize, oh my gosh, I have so much crap and stuff that we just don't need. We don't need the 18 subscriptions that we're paying out.
Stuff. I mean, have you ever passed a garage in your neighborhood and you can't put a car in there? It's just become a storage unit of just crap that we might use one day or we used to use.
Yep.
Or it was stuff from grandma and we just can't get rid of it because it's sentimental. I'm like, guys, we have an obsession with stuff.
All the things. Yep.
All right. Last sign you're not taking retirement seriously. You knew we were going to say it. You're not doing a budget. Having a monthly budget is the foundation of winning with money. Budgets are not for broke people. They're not for when you have money. It's for people who want to have money and want to keep that money. You got to know where every dollar is going, and you can sign up for our free budgeting app at everydollar.com. Every dollar is named after the zero-based budgeting method, where you give every dollar a name.
Yep.
Income minus expenses equals zero.
I will forever be thankful for budgeting because I am such a spender. And we were doing our every dollar app because it was the end of the month, right? We're starting a new month. And I was closing it out, and those dang transactions just kind of kept coming in. I'm like, crap. And I'm sitting there, and it just keeps you accountable. So you're right. It's not
Amazon,
even
Amazon,
on baby
Target,
step 7,
Amazon.
You want to be, you want to
Venmo.
You want to be doing a budget because you want to be able to say, this is where my money's going. And it's like a mirror in front of your face. I mean, like, this is what I'm doing. And you're actually seeing it. And if you're not budgeting, so much money just slips away and you don't even realize it. You really don't realize it. So being accountable in that way, it is so good. It's so good.
That's huge. And what's beautiful about investing is you don't have to overcomplicate it. I mean, we've got a Roth 401k here at Ramsey, so you can do all 15% of your investing into that Roth 401k through your employer. And if you just invest a menial amount, I mean, we're talking a few $100 a month, which may sound like a lot if you're drowning in debt payments and you don't have a few $100, but most people, if we got out of debt and we had the emergency fund, we can find a few $100 to invest.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you invest 15%, goodness gracious, you can build some serious wealth while having margin to help cover kids' college and pay off the house early And when you're in baby step 7 with no mortgage payment, you can increase investing.
Yes, that's
and build
right.
exponential wealth. And so I have less empathy for people that say, well, you can't be a millionaire today, Rachel, because it's easier than ever. If you just get this on autopilot, start as early as you can.
Yep.
Best time to plant the tree was 20 years ago. Next best time is today. So, I feel like the old guy.
That was a grandpa saying,
It
George.
is.
That was
I love it because just like, listen, I get that you're 45 and wish you got this stuff
Right.
sooner, but it's not an excuse to not invest.
Well, and the reality is it's going to happen. Like retirement, right? If
At some point, you
God
won't be
willing
able to work.
that you live up to that age. I'm like, you're going to want to retire. So you'd rather have some money than nothing. So starting that, but it's creating new habits. It's creating a new mindset. If you're not doing it now, putting that extra, a few $100s away, it can feel like, oh my gosh, like this feels scary, or I don't know if we can do this. But there is something powerful about actually doing the action. And once you start doing it and it becomes the norm, then you're not thinking about it again, because you're like, oh yeah, this is just what we do. It becomes a part of your identity, right? The Atomic Habits, he talks about that it's an identity thing. If I am a person that saves for retirement, that's who I am.
The amazing part is you just over time learn to live on that smaller amount of money that ends up in your bank account.
Yes.
Because 15% already left your paycheck before my bank ever saw it.
That's right.
So you just learn to live on that smaller amount, live on less than you make. We teach that all the time. And I know future George is going to be real happy about this.
I always say that. Future Rachel's going to be bougie.
Yes.
I can feel her. I can feel the nice
And do not
trips.
rely on Social Security. That's going to be icing on the cake. Gravy icing if you're in Canada.
If it's even there when we're there, George. Have you read all these
Oh, yeah.
articles?
They're saying, hey, it's going to be down to 80% by 2034, and it could be gone. We don't
I know, y'all. How scary is that? I'm like, what are we doing? So, anyways, depend on yourself. And you guys can do it regardless of what age you are. Start this now.
There's no reason
Start
to
this
call
now.
us at 64 and go, I have zero in a retirement. What do I do?
I know, and people do, though.
And they go, and I can't work anymore. Well, now's a tough time to be calling us. Get a time machine, because I don't have a magic, silver bullet that's going to help you retire with dignity and live all your retirement dreams.
Yep.
So that's my plan, is have more than I need, and then I can, leave it as an inheritance to my children's children.
That's right.
And cover their colleges.
Quoting scripture.
Did you see that lady who donated to the university $1 billion donation to the medical school?
I did see that.
It's amazing.
Yes. Who was she? I didn't read the article.
She
but
was
I did see
a
it.
board member and professor,
Okay.
and her husband was very well-to-do, left her a bunch of money, and she said, you know what? He said, do what I want with this. I'm going to give $1 billion so that no medical student has to pay tuition ever again. How incredible is that?
That's amazing.
So there you go.
There you go.
That's one thing to do if you're a billionaire.
Bye for that school.
So take retirement seriously. Go to RamseySolutions.com. We have tons of resources there. And of course, get your $Every budget going, everydollar.com. Get started for free today.
Create your free Every Dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
So we've got a list here of some common things that you might do that might be driving your coworkers crazy.
Yeah. Or if you're wondering why you want to switch jobs, these annoying habits may be trying to drive you. You think you want to change careers and you just need a new location because you work with people that
drive you
make you
crazy.
want to jump off of a cliff.
And here's the thing.
So we got a list.
Caveat this. It can be really difficult to approach a coworker when they're bothering you with something. Because you don't want to start the conflict and go, hey, Ken, you got to stop clipping your toenails.
You know what? I like it. Maybe we'll address how you would approach some of these, but let's dive in here.
Okay.
How about the person who walks through the office or sits near you and they hum or sing?
The hummer.
The hummer or the singer.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. They bring you into a song.
They've got a song in their heart and they want everyone to know.
And by the way, have you ever noticed that these people, James, they never start at the start of the song? It's always like the song's going in their head and they just kind of pick it up mid-verse and we're all left to go, what? What's happening here?
They hit the chorus.
These people James brought up one, the whistler.
Oh, man.
The whistle while you work. We don't want
Nobody
you to
likes
do
a
that.
whistler.
That's nails on a chalkboard.
But see, I think it's all the same. The singer, the people who are humming all the time.
It's a
and
lack
whistling.
of self-awareness is what it is.
Yeah. I don't want to be brought into your personal soundtrack.
That's a good line right there. Okay, how about this one, Ken? People who listen to music without headphones.
Oh,
Because their
same kind of
playlist is so
principle.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put some headphones
Yeah.
on. And you know what? Secondary, on airplanes. Put some headphones on.
Yeah.
If you're in any public space, Put some headphones on. It's 2022. They're cheap.
I always love the old dude on the airplane who forgets about the concept of the headphones, and he starts the movie, and it's so loud because he's deaf anyway that we hear it all the way in the back of the airplane.
Yikes.
Yeah. Headphones are good.
All right, next up.
Okay. Here's how about the people that reply all to emails when they shouldn't?
Ooh.
Or they don't reply all when they should. In other words, they just don't have any common sense around emails.
The kids call that cringe.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, cringe.
Here's the one that drives me nuts. James was talking to me about this, and he's right. How about the person who replies with emojis all the time or GIFs?
Yeah.
Do you call them GIFs or GIF?
I'm a GIF guy.
GIF or GIF in the control room?
GIF. I like a well-placed GIF, but it's the people who just only reply in them and you can't get an actual answer out of them.
Yeah,
they've nothing to say.
Right. It's like they're a puppet. They won't be real for any moment of time. And I'll tell you the one that drives me is the last word person. They always got to get the last word.
Oh.
It's clear that the email chain is done. We've resolved our business, and they got to fire one more unnecessary THX exclamation point. Like we all need one more email to delete.
What I love is they didn't have the time to just do the ANK.
Right, but they had time to send one more meaningless email. Here's the deal. Nobody ever needs to do the unnecessary thank you.
Less emails in
Less
2022.
emails.
Let's make
what
that
else
happen.
you got, George?
This one gets me because I'm guilty. Holding a door for you when you're too far away, and so you feel like you have to run because the person's just standing there waiting for you.
Yes. Okay, and by the way, have you ever noticed that person's always got this big smile on their face like they're doing you a big favor? Right?
Like you're incapable of opening the door.
I know you're a long way away, but I'm such a stellar human being that I'm going to hold this for you. And it has the opposite effect, doesn't it? What does it do to you when you see that door open from that far away?
It feels like my middle school soccer coach going, "Let's see some hustle, Camel. Come on.
Let's go. Pick them up. Pick them up." Right.
It's very frustrating. So here's my parameter, Ken. Either you've got to be holding things to where you can't open the door, and then I'm happy to open it, right? If you're holding a bunch of stuff, I feel bad. I'll hold it for 15, 30 seconds. And if you're 10 feet away, I go, all right, that's the parameter. If you're more than 10 feet, just be on your way. I'll open the door myself.
Yeah, you're not a big jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
be
like
kind. We're not saying don't be kind, but don't make it awkward.
All right, George, moving on. Here's one that I think the whole world at work can sympathize with, and that is the disgusting, awful, grotesque food that stinks up the entire floor, not just the break room or the kitchen. I mean, it seeps throughout the entire building. Hey, no one should ever eat fish at work. Ever. Ever.
It's a dangerous move.
I don't even care if it's fish sticks from Long John Silver's. No fish.
People are getting fish sticks at Long John Silver's? Is that still a thing?
Somebody's got fast food
well,
fish.
We got a list here in case you're wondering. What are those other foods? We got fish. We got sauerkraut, Brussels sprouts.
By the way.
Chicken gizzard. No one's eating chicken gizzard
Who
for
wrote-
lunch. Oh, James is pointing to someone in the control room. We'll leave
So
it there.
someone who had that experience, not that did it.
Oh, so somebody on our team, which shall remain nameless, brought chicken gizzard, which, by the way, I didn't even know what chicken gizzard is.
I don't know where to buy that.
It was at a previous job, so thankfully it's no one here.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you for the caveat.
James cleared the
Don't
air.
want to offend anybody here at Ramsey Solutions. What is gizzard? Am I allowed to ask that? Is that
It's a part of a chicken I never want to touch or eat. That's it.
Here's a general rule of thumb. If you don't know what part of the animal it comes off of, you might not eat it. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Hey, I want to go back a step. Brussels sprouts is on my top 3 awful smells all time.
Wow. Okay. So save it. Do it at home. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Not eating around Ken. Now, I will say we've got a cafeteria here at Ramsey Solutions, so there's a lot more places for the smells to go. It's a big open area. Back in the old days, we had the tiny little kitchens and break rooms. Not a lot of place for the smell to go. So be kind.
Who's up next on the list? Is it you or me? I forgot.
I think it's me.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about the awful smells.
I'm going to put this one out there.
Okay.
Sales folks who talk very loudly on the floor.
Oh, 100%. Because you've got the world-class technology, a lot of the salespeople are wearing these kind of deals, right? Not quite as big a mic. And then they got to go over the top.
17 people all talking with their outdoor voices.
Yeah, a lot of fake laughs, too. Salespeople, best fake laughers all time.
Oh, yeah. They'll laugh at anything.
Laugh at anything. Give you, and by the way, not just a laugh, a guffaw. You know what a guffaw is?
Leave it to Ken for a $10 word for laugh.
A guffaw is like a chesty laugh, right? We're heaving. A lot of volume, a lot of shaking.
Are you a guffawer?
No.
Okay.
Hurts.
Yeah.
It's not healthy for you. Okay, here's one. How about booking a meeting room that could fit 30 people when there's 3 people.
That one is hilarious to walk by.
It's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
Where do we sit? There's too many decisions I have to make prior
That's
to the
true.
meeting.
That's true. There's plenty of meeting rooms around here.
Yeah. Now, a few things that didn't make this list. This was kind of compiled by some. The conference call etiquette. You know, the Zoom, so when the pandemic hit, like everybody was on Zoom or whatever your platform is for video calls. Drives me nuts. You got romper room going around in the back, right? A lot of distractions. I don't want to be into your life. You have invited me into your life when what we're supposed to be doing is
on Zoom
having a meeting.
Is the blur feeture where it blurs the background.
See, I didn't even know that existed.
It does, because here's what I do, Ken. I'm judging everything in their house. I'm going, oh, wow.
That's so true.
Yikes.
How am I supposed to pay attention when you've invited me into your life? It's too much for me. I can't process it.
Yeah.
I hate meetings anyway. Just as a general rule, I walk into meetings going, I hate this, and then I hope it's good. I just hate the unnecessary meetings.
Our friend Patrick Lencioni's got the book Death by Meeting.
It's a great book.
And so the meetings that could have been an email, sometimes people just want to hear themselves talk in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we go, let's circle up. Let's meet. We'll circle back.
Circle back.
A lot of circling.
See, now you're going into a potential another list.
That's for another day, Ken.
And that's overused office jargon.
Well,
you know what I'm talking about? Where people just wear it out. Circle back is a big one.
Yeah.
Another one is, I don't have the bandwidth. Bandwidth needs to be banned from all jargon.
Bandwidth.
Yeah, there it is.
From Ken Coleman.
Hey, if you are doing any of those things, you need to stop it immediately. This is the takeaway.
Yeah.
Because you are the annoying, obnoxious person that nobody wants to be around. So, we all have room for growth.
Ken has called you guys out. Now, luckily, we work with a lot of great folks at Ramsey Solutions. This stuff happens very sparingly.
Yeah, James only does about 2 of those.
This is James's personal list of things that you bother him with.
That I do.
Yeah.
This was James. This was an email from James going, Ken, I'd really like you to improve in these areas.
Good stuff. People have been asking, hey, what's going on with taxes this year? What's changed? What do I actually need to know? Can you just give me the facts?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. We've got 5 things here. Quick details. Number 1, guys, you can start to file your taxes early. You do not need to wait until April. You can start by the end of January. So get it done early. The filing deadline is April 18th, but you do not need to wait until April 18th, okay? You don't want to be scrambling and scratching. Now, if you do need to file an extension, the deadline to do that would make your filing deadline October 16th. So make sure to get that in. George, what we got here?
We got the standard deduction, so that increased. It's $12,950 for single filers and $25,900 for married couples filing jointly.
Let's go.
And that's a good thing because that deduces your taxable income, which means you're paying less in taxes.
That's right.
And partially, thanks to inflation, which income tax brackets also went up in 2022 to account for inflation.
They did. And guys, we want to warn you about scams. Watch out for this because you'll get people coming out of the woodwork talking about tax relief, debt consolidation scams. And I want you guys to know you might come home to emails or
phone calls,
voicemails,
text messages are the new thing.
Of people saying that they're the IRS. They are not the IRS. The IRS will only communicate to you through the snail mail.
That's right.
Not even email. It's only if you get a letter in the mail from the IRS. So if you've got voicemails, if you got anything else like that, it's a scam.
And always check the IRS website for the phone number. If you do get something in the mail, it's a good way to double check.
That's right.
Don't just call back any old number and start handing out your social security number.
Yeah, you can Google those numbers and it will tell you if it's a scam or not.
Yes,
so I love
that's
that.
a great reminder from one of our listeners there. Another one, the IRS was warning people to wait for these 1099-Ks, but that's on pause. So false alarm. And if you're wondering what the heck the 1099-K is, well, there was a tax code change that would have mandated declaration on any exchanges over these payment apps like PayPal, Venmo, other cash apps. If it was over $600 in exchanges, they wanted their cut. But they're waiting. They're going to kick that can down the road for another year. So you don't have to worry about that.
Which technically they're entitled to the taxes, but I'm just saying. Anyway, smaller refunds. The IRS warned people to expect smaller tax refunds this year, guys, in 2023. Think about it. We were all used to that 2020 money, you know what I'm saying? But there were no economic impacts, thank goodness, in 2022. So taxpayers will not get an extra stimulus payment in their 2023 tax refund checks. So I know that y'all were used to getting that money, but it's not going to feel like that.
They had all the expanded tax credits and deductions like the child tax credit, charitable contribution deduction, but now it's all reverting to the pre-COVID amount. So that's a bummer.
That's a good thing. These tax dollars. All right, number 5, stay away from advanced loans. I cannot say it loud enough. Do not take out a loan for your tax refund.
These ads are everywhere, and I'm going to call them out by name. H&R Block, we see you.
We see you, bro.
TurboTax, we see you.
We
Jackson
see you.
Hewitt, we see you.
We see you.
Trying to peddle loans to people for these, we'll get your refund now. We'll give you a loan for it.
And I'm mad about it. You've already loaned your money tax-free and interest-free to the government. All right? Interest-free. You've been giving them your money every paycheck. And now they want to turn around and offer you a loan for your own money.
Don't
do
for
it.
Don't take the bait.
Just wait and get your refund. All right? That's all we need to do. So I want you guys to know that we've got you covered as far as all of the resources that you're going to need for this tax season. Head over to RamseySolutions.com/taxes. You're going to find everything that you need for this 2023 tax season.
John, you get a lot of calls about narcissism, and that can be a squishy word. People have a lot of opinions on what that means. Can you help us understand this?
Yeah, and we got this article here about narcissism and how they have toxic money habits that often go ignored or unnoticed. But I think it's important to step back and say, okay, what's a narcissist? That's a word that is way overused in our culture.
It's just someone I don't like.
It's we have a lot of jerks and a lot of exhausted people. A pathological narcissist worthy of the diagnosis of narcissism personality disorder and PD, like that. Those are very different levels. So, clinically speaking, narcissistic personality means someone has a very inflated sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, a lack of empathy. As my friend Dr. Henry Cloud says, narcissistic people need to feel special. They have an inflated self-worth. They're always looking to feel better, and they will use you for those means.
To prop them up. You're a pawn in their scheme.
Think of a Dementor. I'm going to get my spirit and my self-worth by taking from you.
That happened in Space Jam. I remember that. They sucked the powers from the basketball. Just trying to connect and relate here, John. It's all right.
To who? To kids eating cereal?
Space Jam fans, they understand.
Oh my gosh. Leave it to George to bring this back to a Lucky Charms commercial. So here's the deal. So we land here with these 5 toxic money habits that often go unnoticed or ignored. In this article here from CNBC. So it says, number 1, narcissists are often secretive about their finances. They keep you in the dark. They say things like, let me be in charge of the finances so you don't have to stress about it. Ooh. And this can happen in business too, right? A narcissistic co-founder might casually tell you, the article says, since you're the creative genius, I'll just manage the boring money stuff, which is an incredibly subversive power move.
Yeah.
To take over the
control. There's a lot of deceitfulness.
That's
a lot of
right.
deception happening.
It's about getting power, right? Number 2, there are only generous with money in public. Spending large amounts of money on others can be a way to get people to like them, but then they're really stingy in private, right? They might cover dinner for colleagues or give gifts just for the show, and then their wife is like, hey, the kids need some clothes, and they're like, oh, you don't figure that out on your own, right? That's narcissism.
So a lot of showiness happening here.
That's right.
They're willing to do it, but as long as other people see it.
Because the purpose of covering that meal is not to honor and love and serve the people who are at the meal. It's to demonstrate to the room how great and important and well
John's
I'm doing.
such an amazing guy.
That's
so
right.
generous.
That's right.
Yeah.
Number 3, they skimp on the essentials here. So they can be grandiose when it comes to self-serving, unnecessary spending, like buying designer watches they can't afford. We see this a lot with I've got 6 figures of student loans, but I've got this Mercedes and 4 rental properties that I've bought on because I want to have this appearance to show the world how great I am. Those in intimate relationships with them may have to quietly save money on the side. I hear that a lot. I have to create a separate world so that I can live, right? Whether that's people avoiding abuse, that's people avoiding starvation, right? I'm pilfering money over here into a secret account so the kids can have clothes for school, that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't even enter the mind of a narcissist, right?
So this is like I'm wearing a Rolex, but my spouse is complaining that the car is falling apart, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I need my Rolex.
That's right, because fixing that car does nothing for my image out into the
for your
public.
reputation.
Yeah, that's right. Number 4, they're hypocritical. Most narcissists believes the rules don't apply to them, even though they are quick to enforce them on everybody else. A narcissistic partner may freely spend on themselves and regularly blow the budget, and they turn around and criticize you for, you bought that shirt? And you're thinking, you just bought another car, right? And it's so hypocritical, and it's often so disproportional, the response to what actually happened.
Well, and this is a lack of integrity.
Right.
There's no consistency here.
Right. And the final one is they are punitive with money, and we see this a lot with narcissists. They weaponize money. They use it as a way to get things. I've heard this done. Well, we didn't sleep together this week, so no money for you this weekend. Or if you don't do this or this or this, we're not going on vacation. Right? It's a tool for punishment. They may plan something really luxurious for your birthday. Let's say the article says here, and then after an argument, they're going to refuse to pay for the expenses, leaving you on the hook because you signed up. Go ahead and book those tickets. We're going, baby. And then you book the tickets and you get in a fight. Like, I'm not paying for those tickets. And now you've got a mess, right? So here's one important caveat about this. We are real bad in our culture, George, about quarterback diagnosing our friends and our loved ones, ourselves. It's the WebMD effect or the Google effect. You can put any number of things like, my partner does this, this, and this. Well, they may have in any number of things, right? Any number of diagnoses. I would say don't do that. Don't do that. If you are wondering if you are trapped in a relationship with somebody who's not safe, focus on the behaviors, not the diagnosis. If someone makes you feel unsafe, if they're making you feel crazy, if they're gaslighting you all the time, if they have put you in a position where you can't pay for basic necessities, go reach out and call a professional ASAP, right? Because you're not safe. Leave the diagnosis to the psychiatrist or psychologist. Let's focus on the behavior, and if you're not safe, get out of that situation ASAP.
So as you see these symptoms, it's obviously you have to create some boundaries and have some really hard conversations, which is not easy with a narcissist because
it's virtually impossible.
They're the kings and queens of spinning things and making you feel crazy, like you talked about with gaslighting. So what is the right way to approach that if someone's like, I think this person's a narcissist, how do I get them out of my life or keep them at bay?
You need to go talk to a professional counselor. You need to go get with a couple of friends who you trust who aren't going to be, not those kind of friends, but ones that you can sit down and say, hey, here's what's happening in my life. Is this normal? That's the most disconcerting or heartbreaking thing when you talk to somebody who's in a relationship with a true narcissist. They come to you saying, hey, can you help me because I'm not good enough? Or, hey, can you help me because I'm really struggling to be a good wife or a good husband? And you listen to their story and it's like, whoa, that's not normal, right? Yeah. And so if you feel like you are the worst husband ever or the worst wife ever, if you feel like you can never do anything right, or you find yourself secretly hiding money, not because you're lack integrity, but because you're trying to make sure the kids have clothes, go talk to a professional counselor ASAP.
So, Ken, it is the time of year when people reset their lives. You've got a whiteboard that's erased. You can write anything on this new year that you want. There's something grace-filled about a new year. And sometimes people kind of do ish or wish. They call it a resolution, and then they change nothing.
That's right. Because the resolution is just that. It's something that I kind of feel like I want to do. Maybe there's some guilt driving the resolution. Maybe there's a wish.
There might have been some champagne involved.
That's right.
Setting the resolution.
That's a good point. Maybe even peer pressure. And all of a
Drunk
sudden.
goal setting.
Yes.
That's a resolution.
And so we set a resolution, but as you know, the data is just abysmal. They all fall off around February.
Yeah.
The gym gets empty again is how that
Years
works.
ago, there were no machines available in January. I was working with a personal trainer, and he said, no problem, just wait till Valentine's Day. There won't be a soul in here. 45 days in, the gym is empty. Yeah, so that's the difference in a resolution, an ish, a wish, a goal. A goal is something you actually do. Goals are dreams with work boots on, and it means asking, what do I need to do differently? What has to be true that was not true before to get this abundant life? And that's why you're listening to us. You want a more abundant life. We want that for you. We love you. We bust you. We encourage you. We pray for you. We cry with you. We do everything on this show, all so you can have an abundant life, a more abundant life, and taking the steps to do intentionality with that. So let's do an old-fashioned goals setting lesson, Ken. the old guys, I mean, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar used to say there's a wheel of life, and you need to set goals and be achieving and growing in all of these areas. You need financial goals, you need intellectual goals, you need family goals, spiritual goals, physical goals, career goals, and social goals. And all of those are important. And generally speaking, each of us have one of those categories or two that we're really naturally good at.
Yeah.
Comes easy for us.
Yes.
And one or two that are really difficult for us.
That's right. And so you said something earlier I want to just hone back on. You said goals are dreams with work boots on. That implies some intentionality and diligence to actually say, okay, this is what specifically I want to accomplish. And then I've got to actually get up and do that. And so I want to know your thoughts, because I know you've been teaching this for a very long time, certainly with the Entree Leadership, our business division here at Ramsey Solution. So how do we put work boots on goals?
When you set a goal, then you have to start figuring out and writing down how you're going to accomplish it. Okay, I want to lose 30 pounds. Great.
Okay.
When?
Okay.
Over 90 days. That's 10 pounds a month, 2.5 pounds a week. Now, what are you going to do to do that? Just setting the goal doesn't do anything.
That's right.
But I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to cut out breads and sweets. Okay, now we've got some tactical things we're doing to actually cause the weight to lose. I want to get out of debt. Okay, I got to get an extra job. I got to cut out the subscriptions. I got to sell the stupid motorcycle sitting in the garage, whatever it is, right? And so you're going to take some actions to hit the goals. And unless you do, the needle's not going to move. Now, goals that work are just dreams unless they're 5 things. They need to, be number 1, be specific.
Yep.
Number 2, they need to be measurable. Number 3, they need to have a time limit. So I want to lose weight is measurable, but it's not specific.
Yeah.
I want to lose 30 pounds is measurable and specific, but then you ask the question, how long do you want? You want to lose up 30 pounds over the next 10 years? Or how many times do you want to lose 30 pounds?
That's
okay.
good.
So I want to lose 30 pounds over 3 months. Now we've got it, like I said a while ago, 90 days. That's 10 pounds a month, 2.5 pounds a week. Yeah. As soon as you put a time limit on the goal, you can back the math out. Okay. I want to read through the Bible. Great. When? In a year. Okay, 12 months. Right. Well, now we can look at the number of chapters in the Bible, the number of books in the Bible. We have an Old Testament, New Testament, read through the Bible plan. There's lots of them. I want to run a marathon. Great. When? And now we can back into a training plan of how many miles I got to run to get ready for that. The next 2 things is goals need to be in writing.
Why is it important that they're in writing?
I'm not positive, but I have achieved almost none of my goals in my life if I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
The Bible says in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. It's almost weird, magical, but it's you're pretty much sure it's not going to happen. But something about when it leaves your mind and you write it, and I would physically write it, like you like to write with a pencil.
I do. I absolutely do.
And I think there's something that happens there in the physiology of that causes us to go, okay, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, and you write it out. I'm going to make $100,000 this year, and you write it out. That's $8,333 a month. That's $2,100 a week. What have I got to do to get there? Yeah. You know, and once you start putting it on paper, it's there. And the last one of the goals, it has to be your goals, not your mama's, not your wife.
That's important.
My wife wants me to lose 30 pounds. Not going to work. Yep. My mama wanted me to be a dentist. I don't want to be your patient. Okay. Don't live other people's goals. Live your goals. Yeah. And you people in leadership help people set goals that they set. When you set goals for them, it's not a goal, it's a quota.
So true. And what will happen is a goal towards a desired future that's not your desired future, as you just laid out some examples. Those goals now become distractions. They're actually distractions from what you should be doing. You'll never finish them.
Our team's built a guide for you to help you do goal setting. Go to RamseySolutions.com/goals, and it'll help you with this. Because, again, you need to touch these different areas. You need to do the 7 different things: financial, intellectual, family, spiritual, physical, career, and social. And in each of those areas, then, you need goals that are specific. They need to be measurable. They need to have a time limit. They need to be in writing. And you have to have personal, emotional ownership of them. They have to be your goals. And we can put forth 1,000 examples of people that have done this and how it works. And oh, by the way, if you didn't lose 30 pounds, but you lost 28, I think you won.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's an old phrase out there. We don't know who it's attributed to, but the person who aims for nothing hits it every time. And I'll tell you, I've used this tool. This tool is unbelievable because it guides you through it. So you don't have to stress out. We're going to give you the categories, the financial, intellectual, family, spiritual, physical, career, social, and we walk you through how to actually use this, and it's going to keep you accountable. Oh, this is a wonderful guide to really make some serious gains in all of these areas in your life in 2023.
Well, I'll help you with the financial side because it's free.
There's that, too. Yeah, that's true.
All right, RamseySolutions.com/goals. Ish is a wish. Drunken resolutions don't count. We're setting real goals. This is grown-ups. We're setting goals. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Natalie's in Los Angeles. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call today.
Sure. What's up?
My question is, my husband and I have been saving for a house for almost 6 years. Our plan, we thought, would be 3 to 5 years, but then COVID happened and everything, and inflation, and we still aren't in a position where we can afford a house. And so my question is, we have money saved, and I'm not sure what we should do with it because it's just sitting in the bank.
How much do you have saved?
We have about 90,000, and my goal is by the end of the summer we'll have 100.
That's awesome. So can you just drop it in a high yield savings account, like one of those online ones?
So
the rates are pretty decent right now.
So how long would you suggest? I guess you just...
The high yield savings accounts don't have a time on them.
You can just drop it in there and kind of set it, just forget about it. And when you're ready to use that money, you can pull it out. There's no stipulation on pulling the money out.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little curious. What's your household income?
So we have like a very unique situation. We live in LA County. My husband is a school teacher. We live just on his income, but we don't pay any housing expenses. We manage a property, so I'm a property manager.
What's your household income?
So it's $57 a month after taxes and health insurance.
Okay, so he's making $80,000 a year, and you've saved about $20,000 a year for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much house are you trying to get when the time comes?
At this point, it's like I'm not very picky. Like whatever we can get.
Well, you got to be a little bit more specific than that. We're talking about prices and money. So, what do you think you're going to spend?
I'm not quite sure. We've kind of said maybe we'll leave the state, but we just haven't made that decision yet.
You live in one of the most expensive real estate counties in the world.
Yeah.
And you make, $75,000, $80,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you've got to consider. L.A., San Jose, San Francisco, right? New York City, London, Tokyo. These are super expensive markets. San Diego, not far behind, right? Mm-hmm. And so, not telling you to move, but, you may reach a point that what you get paid, you can't afford to live there. You can't, here's an example, okay? You can't make $50,000 a year and live in Manhattan and own your home, own your real estate, okay? Mm-hmm. It's not mathematically possible. So there are some things that you say, I can't afford to live there and have the house and have a house and have the dream that I want to do. And you're probably pretty close on this one.
Listen, my sister-in-law was a teacher living in Los Angeles, and they decided that they moved to North Carolina, and then they moved to North Florida because that's how they were going to afford the house. But I do think that if you take some time and you guys do some research, look at different areas, look at different cities and states, and really create a clear picture for what you want, because I think that you could easily, I don't feel like there's a clear target. So you're not really aiming at anything clear. It's just home ownership. But if you make a clearer target, I think that you'll be more excited about saving that money, and you'll be more intentional about actually getting to the goal.
Well, that's exactly true. That's very true. And you can start to make a decision about career path and, where do we want, what part of, maybe, I don't know if a teacher that works in LA County has to technically live in LA County.
That's true.
How much of a commute can we stand, in other words? because LA is not unlike most other cities that the further you get out of town, in most directions, the cheaper the real estate. It's not unusual. It's basic ring theory of urban growth. And so, drop a pebble in the center, and as you go, every ring you go out, other than you hit a lake or you hit a mountain where the prices go up, other than you hit a particular neighborhood that is known for its prestige. But other than those things, as you go out the rings, generally speaking, for most of you listening, the further out in the country you get, the cheaper the property. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept, and I think most of us walking around know that. So you got to decide that, and then the other thing you decide is, do we want to live, or can we make the life we want to make with the money we make in LA County? And if we can't, then you'll be one of those California refugees who ends up in another state. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. So, Ken, I was listening to our friend Mike Rowe's podcast the other day, and he had an author on, Nick Eberstadt or Eberstadt. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I should have listened to Mike pronounce it, because with his wonderful pipes, it was a great job of pronouncing it, right?
Yeah.
But Mike has been sounding the same alarm that you and I have been sounding, particularly you, that we have what you were saying at the break is a social crisis evolving, and it's showing up in the unemployment numbers when we properly measure them. Now, this economist is a mathematician that did this book, How Things Work. I guess that's Mike's podcast. I don't see the name of his book off the top of my head. Somebody handed it to me the other day at an event I
believe it's Men at Work, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. But
the essence of their discussion, that you and I have been having a similar discussion, is this shift in the workplace right now, that we've got a large number of jobs available and no one applying for them. There's a shortage of labor for the first time in post-War War II America. We've never seen this in modern America. And the reason there's a shortage is not because the jobs are so plentiful. It's because there are, according to this article from Fox News, quoting Mike Rowe and quoting this economist, there are now 7 million able-bodied males between 25 and 40 years old that are able to work and are not even looking for work.
Yeah, it's correct, and it's staggering. And so the point here is that what's going on? This is causing massive economic problems. Before we look at the social, very quick glance here. When you have a gap in the jobs like we've had now for the last 2 years, then you've got real small businesses being hurt by this. Think about the restaurants in your small town. They can't find people to work, and it's affecting their livelihood. Then the other economic factor is, of course, we still see a war for talent. And so wages have gone up tremendously in the last 2 years, which has now led to a stubborn inflationary period that we are in. Now, that's the economic piece. The social piece, what's crazy about this is that you've got 6.8 million people that last month, according to the latest jobs report and the Census Bureau, 100 million Americans weren't working last month. Now, half of them
100 million. That's
100
not
million.
right.
100 million. But half
were working.
No, hold on.
No, we don't have 100 million unemployed. There's only 300 million in the whole stinking
Didn't say
country.
they were unemployed. I'm saying just not working, period. I'm just breaking the numbers down for you.
Oh, yeah, like toddlers.
Half are retired.
Okay.
All right. Another 12% are dealing with some type of long-term illness, or disability. Okay. And then 5.6 million people saying, I don't want to go back to work because they're scared of COVID. And then the number is right at 7 million that are saying, I don't want to work. And those are the men. So the social factor that's going on here is you've got two factors. One, you've had decades and decades of entitlements. Starts with welfare. And then if you look at during COVID, where people were getting payments every week, every month, all right, so that's an entitlement where they're disincentivized to actually go back to work. And then, Dave, I think the fact that for decades we've literally taken the pain away from our kids. We've removed the struggle. And I don't say this with jest, but I think when you look at things like Everybody gets a trophy for participation. And nobody learns the sting of failure. Nobody learns the sting of rejection. And so what happens is a good amount of the 7 million men, not all of them, are in this conversation that Mike had with this economist, are looking at screens based on the data. They say how much time they spend on screens. They get dopamine hits.
2,000 hours a year.
2,000 hours a year.
These 7 million men, 25 to 54, are spending 2,000 hours a year on screens.
So self-medicating because they're scared to leave the cave, using your old analogy.
It's not cave, it's mother's basement.
Right. But the idea is they're afraid to put themselves out there. And here's what we know about work. So when someone succeeds in work, their self-esteem goes up. 2, they have financial independence or the opportunity for financial freedom. And then 3, they're a part of something bigger than themselves. It's a sense of belonging.
Dr. John Deloney would tell you your mental health goes up because your dignity, your autonomy,
that's it.
Your ability to control your environment goes up. There is such a mental illness tie-in.
No question.
Caused by not working.
That's right.
Literally. So this idea that you have not put gravel in the stomach of your kids, they have no grit, means as a parent you suck. And so you mommies need to throw your 25-year-old out of your basement yesterday and put him on the street and teach him to work. You're late to the party, but you need to do this. You are doing him a disservice. You are doing America a disservice. You are doing your neighbors a disservice. You're doing the mental health community a disservice. You're risking his increased likelihood of depression, anxiety, and suicide.
That's exactly right.
You are doing all of these things because you're letting Junior play Call of Duty 2,000 hours a year in your basement, and he ain't ever been called to any duty.
Yeah. And the irony is you're doing all of that under the guise of helping your kid feel good about themselves. And the very thing that they need to feel good about themselves is to go out and do good.
Yeah. It's the wussification of America.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of wussies.
Yeah.
Is what it amounts to. And, seriously, a good cowboy boot in the butt of this whole thing would be helpful. It really, really would. It just pisses me off. I mean, this is just a thing where you just need to work. Oh, my God. 7 million, and they call them men in this article. I'll call them males. All right? Males, 25 to 40, 7 million of them literally sitting on their butts. And someone else is caring for them. The government, their mommy, their live-in girlfriend who thinks he's cute.
Here's the breakdown.
Got a sugar mama, do you, buddy?
Yeah. Here's some of the census data, Dave, from a Bloomberg article. The equivalent of 32 million people who aren't working are relying on savings. That includes retirement, okay? Another 26 million are using credit cards or loans, and 12 million have been borrowing from families.
The credit card is the devil. It's at the center of the problem.
There it is. And then here's the part we've been talking about. 12 million have said that they're borrowing from family or friends to help keep them out of the workforce.
Yeah.
They're living off
family
of
and friends.
You're
You're enablers.
Yep.
You're giving a drunk a drink. You're giving a lazy person the ability to still be lazy. You're giving someone who's in avoidance mode because they're afraid, they're scared, they're paralyzed by the facing reality and stepping into the real world, when the best thing that can happen to you, the most alive you'll ever feel, is when you risk it and you step up to the plate and the ball comes whizzing across and scares the piss out of you while you swing the bat. This is the best thing that can happen to you.
That's right.
And you strike out.
Right.
And it's okay.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't work out. Oh, darn.
Well, I think the simplest way to look at what Dave is saying is, remember all of us when we rode a bike the first time, we were terrified. Horrified, maybe.
I'm terrified right now.
Yeah. But what happened? Like, we took that fear, we stepped into it, we learned to ride the bike, and it wasn't much longer before we were saying, look, Mom, no hands. We go from terrified to get on the bike to look, Mom, no hands. And that's the human spirit. The idea of these kids, these men, I shouldn't say kids, but some of them are emotionally kids.
Yeah.
They need to feel alive. And the way you feel alive is by making a contribution for yourself and for others. That's simple.
You don't feel alive where there's no risk.
Well, that's exactly right.
And the coddling of the American male, the wussification of this culture, it is really starting to be a social problem.
And now an economic.
It started out as a parenting problem. It started out as this. And hey, man, I don't know. No. I'm just going to blame you moms and dads.
Well, I would say the friends and the parents are absolutely culpable. And I would say this.
I can blame Call of Duty if you want, but moms and dads that are good moms and dads rip that crap out of the wall and say, get your butt out and mow the grass.
Here's one other one. We the people, taxpayers, we got to
quit giving these morons money to sit on their butts.
No more government entitlements. That's where we the people can do something.
It's just not good for the moron. And it's not good for the government. And it's not good for us.
I like when I make a policy recommendation.
It's a Be Kind to Morons Day, okay? Really. Oh, my gosh.
Dave's like the soundtrack to all my policies.